What's up, Juventini? Never a dull moment around Juventus. Today is no different. A meeting with Zinedine Zidane about potentially coaching Juventus. We'll take a look at that, as well as Juve's defense for 25-26. Already plans being revealed. And then another player enters Jeria 51, the Bermuda Triangle, that is J Medical. And now Motta has to pivot ahead of the big game against Inter. And then we get more positive news around the finances and Juve hitting home free. We're going to look at all of this together right now. I'm Berto. This is the AJ's Here channel dedicated to Juventus. It's February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. Let's rock with the news. And we kick things off with Juve's plans for their defense in 2025-2026, and it is as follows. Bremer, Kalulu getting redeemed, Gatti being extended, Lloyd Kelly most likely seeing obligation, and then one of either David Henko or Renato Vega. When it comes to Vega, Nico Schira reminds us that in January, Chelsea, and it all stems from what will Chelsea want to do, but he reminds us they rejected 3 outright bid purchases, all right, and they also, there is a reason. There is no option associated to this loan for Vega at Juventus. So he's essentially telling us in a very subtle manner, don't get too attached. And David Henko might be the guy ever since day one. Let's wait and see, everybody. But that's the latest as far as the plans go for Juve's defense 2025-2026. When it comes to the plans going into this weekend, well, Thiago Motta's plans probably getting changed because Douglas Luiz is the latest to enter the Bermuda Triangle. All right, he did not train as he is suffering from fatigue following yesterday's training session. All right, so now he is out for the Inter match. And as far as the PSV second leg of the playoffs, it's a we'll see about Douglas Luiz being involved. Kefren Turam expected to re-enter the mix in the midfield. But does that mean that Cope Miners enters the mix again and starts? We have to wait and see, because as far as the fullbacks go and where McKennie is going to be used, well, Cambiaso is slated to return and has returned to group training today, so he should be in the squad list. When we ask the poll question, should he start immediately on his return? You wouldn't believe the split on that Twitter poll, but for you guys, you know the drill. Weigh in on what you would do for Lloyd Kelly. He was also listed as having issues today, gastrointestinal issues. However, he will not be affected as far as the Derby d'Italia goes, and he will be available to Thiago Motta. So let's see. For Conceição, he's expected to start in that matchup. And for Juve, we have got to get it going and start getting results. But is management starting to get nervous? We'll touch on that in a bit, okay? As far as the finances go, we continue to see the signs and the positive signs of what Giuntoli is doing. We may not agree with all of his moves, and obviously sacrifices were made, but he is completing the task he was given. As it is expected now, not only are we going to see a positive on February 27th in the books, but at the end of the season, after taxes, the deficit is only going to be negative 32 million euros projected. That is significantly better than the negative 199 million just a year ago. So he's getting it done. It's up to Motta and the players to get their portion of the job done. But Giuntoli, like I said, we are almost home free. And then we can make decisions where it takes equal balance in terms of sporting and financial weight. So let's see. Giddy up. Get me there as quick as possible. But Champions League revenue will play a big part in that. And also, find us a damn sponsor, all right? The fact that Giuntoli did this in that short a period of time with no sponsorship, amazing, all right? Now, as far as getting nervous, etc., Champions League qualification is critical. If we lose that revenue, you still hear the same reports. Capital has to be brought in, and then your young guys are all prime candidates, as they were to get to this point, because it's pure profit. Yildiz, Savona, Imbangula all being listed as options and routes Juve could take to make up the difference. Now, is Juve getting nervous about top four? We've heard for several weeks rumblings around Turin about Juve maybe looking to cover their bases in case of a scenario where they have to hit the eject button on Thiago Motta. Today, mainstream media has caught Zinedine Zidane's name and putting it out there from several outlets that Juve has had exploratory discussions about Zinedine Zidane potentially joining if they have to hit the eject button. Are they thinking about hitting it right now? Or is Zinedine Zidane linked to a future Juventus? And I'm going to tell you that there's a little bit more to this, and it might not necessarily be this Juventus that has reached out to Zidane, because we're hearing a lot about his involvement in a future Juventus that has to do with Elkan selling and Agnelli coming back. I'll tell you everything I've heard and all the rumblings out of Turin on this weekend's live show ahead of the Derby d'Italia, all right? But right now, with the Zidane rumors, don't be surprised if you see some of the big dogs come in and debunk it immediately, all right? But I'll clear the air on what's actually coming from Turin, because the mainstream media likes to twist it and turn it into something that it isn't necessarily. But the hypothetical lives on. Would you want Zidane to be the next coach of Juventus should things fail with Thiago Motta? I remember his name coming up a lot over the past 4 years and all the turmoil around Juventus, and everybody had their thoughts and feelings on where the team was at. Let's say he would accept. Would you bring him in? Is he the right guy, in your opinion? Can't wait to hear your thoughts, but that wraps up the news break, and you know the drill, everybody. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join our AJC army, and let's mix it up in the comments, and I'll be back tomorrow with another edition. Till then, as always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus, ciao tutti.